The voicemail he leaves is pure desperation. Sarah, sweetheart, there's been a terrible misunderstanding. Call me back immediately. The buyers are threatening to sue. We need to talk. Delete. Mom tries next. Baby girl, please pick up. Your father's blood pressure is through the roof. We just need to sell the house and split the money fairly. Why are you being so difficult? Delete. Jessica's message hits different. What the hell is wrong with you? Mom's having panic attacks because of your selfishness. Just sign the papers and stop destroying our family. That one I save. At 8 p.m., I'm eating takeout Chinese on my new table when all three call simultaneously. A coordinated assault designed to overwhelm my defenses. I answer Jessica's call and immediately conference in Mom and Dad. Finally, Dad's voice booms through the speaker. Sarah, you need to stop this nonsense immediately. We have buyers lined up, contracts ready to sign. Interesting, I say calmly, twirling lo mein around my plastic fork. Tell me about these buyers. A lovely young family. Mom interjects. They fell in love with the house. We can't disappoint them. The house that belongs to me. Silence. Sarah. Jessica's voice turns wheedling. We're family. Families share everything. You can't just steal our home. Your home. I laugh, and it sounds foreign to my own ears. The home I saved with my life savings. The home you abandoned after writing me a note calling me a sucker. We didn't mean, Mom starts. You didn't mean to get caught. Look, Dad interrupts. We can split everything, 50-50. You keep half the profits, we take half. Everybody wins. Counter offer, I say. You get nothing. I keep everything, because it's mine. That's not fair. Jessica shrieks. Neither was stealing my house while I worked nights to pay your debts. I end the call and turn off my phone, but as I sit in my sparse living room, surrounded by flat-pack furniture and takeout containers, a strange peace settles over me. For the first time in years, every decision is mine. Every consequence belongs to me. No more family emergencies draining my accounts. No more guilt trips about helping relatives who never help themselves. Just me, my house, and a future they can't touch. Tomorrow I'll change my phone number and start building the life they tried to steal from me. Tonight, I sleep soundly in the home I fought to keep. 3 days of silence from my family feels like the calm before a hurricane. Then the storm hits. My new phone number receives its first call Tuesday morning. Uncle Robert, Dad's brother, sounds uncomfortable, but determined. Sarah, your parents are staying in my guest room. They're devastated. Your mother hasn't stopped crying since Sunday. I'm sure she's heartbroken about losing $300,000 in profit. This isn't about money. It's about family. Family doesn't steal houses. Uncle Robert. But his call opens the floodgates. By noon I've heard from 6 relatives, 4 family friends, and even Pastor Williams from the church I haven't attended in 5 years. Each conversation follows the same script. Sarah's being unreasonable. Families forgive. Blood is thicker than water. What would happen if your entire family turned against you for refusing to be robbed? The most painful call comes from my childhood friend Maya. Your mom posted on Facebook, she says gently. She says you've had a mental breakdown, that you're not thinking clearly. I pull up Mom's Facebook page on my laptop. The post has 47 likes and counting. Please pray for our daughter Sarah. She's going through a difficult time and making decisions that hurt our entire family. Sometimes mental health struggles manifest as anger toward loved ones. We're seeking professional intervention. #pray for Sarah. #family first comments. Pour in below. So sorry, Diane. Mental illness is so hard on families. Sarah always seemed troubled. Hope she gets the help she needs. You're such good parents for not giving up on her. My chest tightens with rage and humiliation. She's weaponizing mental health stigma to paint me as unstable, making herself the victim while I'm portrayed as the villain. But 2 comments catch my attention. Wait, didn't Sarah just save your house from foreclosure? What's really going on here? Jenny Morrison. Something doesn't add up. Sarah's one of the most level-headed people I know. Dr. Kevin Walsh. I screenshot everything before Mom can delete the dissenting voices. That evening, Jessica calls from a blocked number. I know you think we wronged you, she begins. But Mom's right. You're not thinking clearly. This revenge fantasy is destroying our family. Revenge, I laugh bitterly. I'm just keeping the house I paid for. Dad invested his whole life in that property. 30 years of mortgage payments. You can't just steal his life's work. Jessica, I have the bank statements. Dad hadn't made a mortgage payment in 8 months when I intervened. The house was in foreclosure. I saved it with my money. But we're family. Money shouldn't matter between us. You're right, it shouldn't. But you made it matter when you tried to steal from me. We weren't stealing. We were going to give you a fair share. After calling me a sucker in your goodbye note, after abandoning me with empty rooms and no forwarding address, she hangs up without responding. Later that night, I create my own Facebook post. Sometimes the people who claim to love you the most are the ones who hurt you the worst. Setting boundaries isn't cruelty, it's survival. To everyone who's reached out with concern, I'm healthier and happier than I've been in years. Thank you for caring. You were fall. Within an hour, it has 12 supportive comments and 3 heart reactions. Small numbers, but each one feels like validation. Maya comments, proud of you for standing strong. Real friends support your healing journey. Dr. Walsh from the hospital adds, Sarah is one of our most dedicated nurses. Her judgment and character are beyond reproach. Even Mrs. Henderson from next door chimes in. Whatever's happening, I've seen you working day and night to help your family. You deserve peace. But the post also triggers a response from Dad's new number. Taking this public proves you've lost perspective. We're willing to mediate through Pastor Williams. Sunday at 2 p.m. Don't embarrass us further. I stare at the text for a long time. They still think they can control me. Still believe they hold power over my decisions. Still expect me to prioritize their comfort over my own survival. But I reply with something they've never heard from me before. No, just that. Nothing else. Because sometimes the most powerful word in the English language is the one we're most afraid to use with family. Sunday arrives gray and drizzling. From my living room window, I watch families hurry to church clutching umbrellas and coffee cups. Normal people living normal lives, untouched by family revenge schemes. At 2:15 p.m., my doorbell rings. Through the security camera, I see Pastor Williams standing alone on my porch, his kind face creased with concern. No parents, no Jessica, just him. I open the door but don't invite him in. Sarah, he smiles sadly. You look tired. I am tired. Tired of being manipulated. Your family asked me to mediate this conflict. They're waiting in my car. I glance past him. Dad's silhouette sits rigid in the passenger seat. Mom's figure hunches in the back corner. Jessica scrolls through her phone with practiced indifference. They're welcome to come inside and apologize, I say, after they return everything they stole and drop their fraudulent house sale. Pastor Williams shifts uncomfortably. Sarah, forgiveness isn't about what others deserve. It's about freeing yourself from bitterness. I'm not bitter, Pastor. I'm protective. There's a difference. They made mistakes, but cutting off family over financial disagreements. My voice rises despite my efforts to stay calm. They stole my house. They committed real estate fraud. They abandoned me after I saved them from bankruptcy. His expression softens. I don't know all the details. Then maybe you shouldn't be mediating. From the car, Dad's voice carries across the yard. She's lost her mind, Pastor. You can see it yourself. Something snaps inside me. Wait here, I tell Pastor Williams. I retrieve the folder from my kitchen table. Bank statements, legal documents, screenshots of their social media posts, the smoking gun evidence of their planned betrayal. These are the details, I say, handing him the folder. My bank account, drained to save their house. The quitclaim deed that made me the legal owner. The real estate listing they filed without my consent. The Facebook posts where they're smearing my mental health. Pastor Williams flips through page after page, his face growing paler. They told me you were having a breakdown, he whispers. I was. The breakdown happened when I realized my family was a criminal enterprise, disguised as a loving household. After working a brutal 12-hour shift saving lives, I came home to find my house stripped bare. No furniture, no family, just a handwritten note that would change everything. Thanks for paying our debts, sucker. If you are watching this, kindly subscribe and let me know where you are watching from. And I hope that you're safe wherever you are. The Oregon rain pounds against my windshield as I pull into the driveway at midnight. My scrubs stick to my skin after another exhausting shift in the cardiac unit. 3 heart attacks, 2 strokes, 1 miracle recovery that made it all worthwhile. But something's wrong. My house stands dark against the stormy sky. No warm glow from the living room windows. No flickering television light. The curtains are missing. I kill the engine and sprint through the rain to my front door. My key turns easily. Too easily. The house echoes hollow and empty. Mom? My voice bounces off bare walls. Dad? Jessica? Nothing. The living room where we watched movies every Friday night stands completely vacant. No couch. No coffee table. No family photos lining the mantel. Even the ugly lamp Dad refused to throw away has vanished. My heart hammers as I race through each room. Kitchen cabinets stripped clean. Bedrooms empty down to the last sock. The bathroom where Mom kept her endless collection of beauty products picked bare. They've taken everything. In the hallway, a single white envelope lies centered on the hardwood floor like a funeral announcement. My trembling fingers tear it open. Mom's familiar handwriting stares back at me. Thanks for paying our debts, sucker. We're starting fresh in Miami. Don't follow us. Your former family. The floor tilts beneath my feet. 3 months ago, they were sobbing on this very spot. Dad had gambled away their retirement fund. Mom's shopping addiction had maxed out 6 credit cards. My younger sister Jessica needed money for her wedding that she refused to downsize. We're going to lose the house, Dad had wailed. 30 years of mortgage payments down the drain. The foreclosure notice had arrived on a Tuesday. $180,000 in total debt. The house would be auctioned within 60 days. I'd just finished paying off my nursing school loans. Finally had some savings. A modest emergency fund for my future. But I couldn't watch my childhood home disappear. I liquidated everything. My 401k. My savings account. Even borrowed against my car. $180,000 to save the family home. You're our angel, Mom had whispered. Tears streaming down her cheeks. We'll pay you back every penny. Dad had nodded vigorously. This family sticks together. Always. Jessica had hugged me so tight I couldn't breathe. You're the best sister in the world. The paperwork had been confusing. Refinancing documents, quitclaim deeds, legal jargon that made my head spin after 16-hour shifts. But they guided me through each signature. It's just temporary, Dad had explained. Until we get back on our feet. I'd trusted them completely. Now I understand the truth. While I worked overtime to rebuild their credit, they were planning their escape. Every family dinner, every grateful smile, every thank you was a lie. My phone buzzes. A text from an unknown Florida number. House goes on the market Monday. We'll split the profits 3 ways if you don't cause trouble. Consider it your inheritance. The audacity steals my breath. But as I stand in my gutted home, surrounded by the ghosts of family memories, something cold and determined crystallizes in my chest. They think they've outsmarted me. They think I'm just the naive daughter who'll roll over and accept their betrayal. They have no idea what they've unleashed. Morning light reveals the full scope of their deception. Coffee mug rings stain the kitchen counter, where our breakfast table once stood. Nail holes dot the walls where family photos hung for decades. I call in sick to work for the first time in 3 years. At my laptop I discover their crime extends far deeper than theft. The house is already listed on Zillow. Professional photos showcase empty rooms with excellent natural light and move-in ready condition. Listed by Sandra Martinez, Coastal Realty. Asking price $485,000. My stomach lurches. The house I saved for $180,000 could net them over $300,000 in profit. Money they plan to steal from me. But something in the listing details catches my attention. Under seller information, only one name appears, Sarah Chen. My name. I dig through the paperwork stack they left behind in their hasty departure. Insurance documents, old utility bills. And there, buried beneath Dad's gambling receipts, I find it. The quitclaim deed I signed 3 months ago. But now I read every word carefully. This isn't a temporary refinancing agreement. It's a complete property transfer. The house is legally mine. Solely mine. Have you ever had that moment where disaster transforms into opportunity? My hands shake as I call Sandra Martinez directly. Oh, Miss Chen. Her voice brightens with professional enthusiasm. I was hoping to hear from you. We've had tremendous interest already. 3 showings scheduled for this afternoon. I need to cancel the listing immediately. I say, silence stretches between us. I'm sorry, but the contracts indicate you're selling due to relocation. Has something changed? Everything's changed. I'm not selling. But your father called yesterday to confirm the lockbox installation. He said you were already in Miami. The pieces click together with sickening clarity. Dad's been impersonating me, forging documents, planning to steal my house while I worked double shifts to pay their debts. My father has no legal authority over this property. I say carefully, check the deed. I'm the sole owner. Papers rustle in the background. Sandra's tone shifts from cheerful to confused. You're absolutely right. The title shows only your name. This is highly irregular. I'll need to speak with our legal department immediately. After I hang up, I call the family law attorney who helped me navigate the original debt crisis. Patricia Walsh has silver hair and steel nerves. Sarah, honey, you need to listen very carefully, she says after reviewing the situation. That quitclaim deed is ironclad. The house is yours, but your family's attempt to sell it without your consent constitutes fraud. What are my options? Full prosecution. They could face federal charges for real estate fraud, or you can handle this privately and cut them out completely. For the first time in 24 hours, I smile. At 3 p.m., I'm standing in my empty living room when the first potential buyers arrive. A young couple with twin toddlers peer through windows, discussing paint colors and playground proximity. I open the front door. I'm sorry, but this house has been removed from the market, I announce. There won't be any showings today. The husband frowns, but we drove 2 hours to see this place. Family drama, I explain with a shrug. You know how it is. They leave disappointed, but I feel lighter than I have in months. My phone explodes with notifications. Missed calls from Dad, frantic texts from Mom, angry voicemails from Jessica, but I don't answer. Not yet. First, I have a house to reclaim and a family to face with consequences they never saw coming. The locksmith arrives at 6 a.m. sharp. Within 30 minutes, every lock in my house has been changed. New deadbolts, new window latches. Even the old hidden spare key location gets sealed off. Domestic situation, Marcus asks. Installing the final lock. You could say that. I do a lot of these calls. My advice. Security cameras, motion sensors, paper trail for everything. Smart man. By noon my house resembles a fortress. Cameras cover every entrance. Motion detectors guard the perimeter. A security system worthy of Fort Knox protects my reclaimed home. Patricia Walsh calls with updates. I've filed injunctions preventing any further sale attempts. Also froze their access to any shared accounts. Legally speaking, they're trapped. What about the money they're expecting? What money? The house isn't selling. There are no profits to split. I can't suppress my grin. That afternoon I drive to IKEA and buy the basics. A mattress, a small table, 2 chairs. Nothing fancy, just enough to prove this house is occupied and defended. As I assemble furniture in my living room, my phone rings. Dad's contact photo fills the screen, his face from last Christmas, smiling beside the tree I bought with my nurse's salary. I let it ring, and ring, and ring. He closes the folder and meets my eyes. Sarah, I owe you an apology. This isn't what they described. It never is. At my kitchen table, Pastor Williams sits across from me, while my family waits in his car like scolded children. What do you want me to tell them? He asks. The truth, that actions have consequences, that stealing from family isn't a mistake, it's a choice, and that I'm done enabling their choices. They say they're sorry they got caught. If I hadn't discovered the house listing, they'd be splitting profits in Miami right now. He nods slowly. What would reconciliation look like for you? Full confession, public apology, repayment of every dollar they stole, acknowledgement that the house is mine alone. And if they refuse, then they can build new lives without my help, just like they plan to do anyway. Pastor Williams returns to his car for a hushed conference that stretches 15 minutes. Through my window I watch the conversation grow heated. Mom gestures wildly. Dad slams his palm against the dashboard. Jessica throws her hands up in exasperation. Finally, Pastor Williams walks back alone. They've declined your terms, he says quietly. Your father says he'd rather lose the relationship than admit fault publicly. Then he's made his choice. Sarah, please reconsider. Families can heal from anything with enough grace. Pastor, some wounds are too deep to heal. Some betrayals are too complete to forgive. I'm protecting myself from people who prove they'll hurt me for money. He hugs me gently at the door. I'll pray for all of you. Thank you. But pray for their consciences, not my stubbornness. As his car disappears down the street, I feel something I haven't experienced in months, complete peace. No more meetings, no more mediators, no more family drama manipulating my emotions. Just me, my house, and the quiet satisfaction of watching family revenge unfold exactly as it should. They gambled everything on my compliance and lost. 2 weeks pass before I hear from them again. 2 weeks of blessed silence, where I buy real furniture, paint my bedroom sage green, and sleep through the night without anxiety dreams. Then Maya calls with news. Your family's back in town, she says. I saw your dad at the grocery store. He looked rough. Rough how? Unshaven, thin, like he hadn't slept in weeks. And Sarah, he was buying ramen and cheap lunch meat, lots of it. Their Miami dreams must have crashed into Florida's cost of living reality. No house sale money, no family support system, just 3 adults with no backup plan and dwindling resources. That evening I drive past Uncle Robert's house. Dad's old Honda sits in the driveway beside a U-Haul trailer. Through the living room window I glimpse figures moving around. The prodigal family has returned, broke and defeated. I should feel triumphant. Instead, I feel empty. Friday night, Jessica appears on my porch without warning. She looks older somehow. Stress lines around her eyes that weren't there 4 months ago. Can I come in? She asks quietly. Against my better judgment, I step aside. My living room has transformed since she last saw it. Comfortable furniture, warm lighting, family photos carefully curated to include only happy memories from before their betrayal. It looks nice, she admits, settling into my new armchair. Thanks. We sit in uncomfortable silence until she finally speaks. We're broke, Sarah. Completely broke. Miami was a disaster. Dad couldn't find work. Mom's depression got worse. I had to sell my engagement ring to buy gas money home. I'm sorry to hear that. Are you? Her voice sharpens. Because you seem pretty comfortable in your stolen house. My house that I paid for with my life savings. That stolen house. She flinches. We never meant for things to go this far. What did you mean? When you wrote thanks for paying our debts, sucker, in your goodbye note, what exactly did you mean? Tears start streaming down her cheeks. We were angry and scared and stupid, but we're family, Sarah. Family forgives. Family doesn't steal from each other. We would have given you a fair share. After you called me a sucker and disappeared without a forwarding address, after you tried to sell my house without my consent, that's your definition of fair. She breaks down completely, sobbing into her hands like a child who's been caught red-handed. But I don't comfort her. I don't offer tissues or soft words. I've learned that my empathy has been weaponized against me too many times. Mom's talking about suicide, Jessica whispers. The words hit like a physical blow. What? She can't handle the shame. Everyone knows what happened now. People at church are asking questions. Her Facebook friends are starting to piece things together. My stomach churns, but I force my voice to stay steady. That's not my responsibility, Jessica. How can you be so cold? How can you try to manipulate me with suicide threats? She looks up, mascara streaking her cheeks. I'm not manipulating anything. I'm telling you our mom is falling apart. Then get her professional help. Therapy, medication, support that doesn't require me surrendering my house. We can't afford therapy. We can barely afford food. The admission hangs between us like a confession. So this visit isn't about reconciliation. I say slowly. It's about money. It's about survival. We're living in Uncle Robert's basement, sleeping on air mattresses. Dad's applying for minimum wage jobs at 62 years old. Consequences. I say softly. These are called consequences. She stares at me like I've grown horns. When did you become so heartless? She whispers. When my family tried to steal my house while I worked double shifts to save them from bankruptcy. Jessica stands abruptly. Fine, keep your precious house. But when Mom hurts herself, remember that you could have prevented it. After she leaves, I sit in my quiet living room for a long time. Outside, rain patters against windows that finally have curtains. Inside, warmth radiates from radiators that heat a home that's truly mine. But Jessica's words echo in my mind. When did you become so heartless? Maybe I am heartless now. Maybe betrayal changes you in ways you can't come back from. Maybe protecting yourself requires building walls that keep out love and manipulation equally. Or maybe this isn't heartlessness at all. Maybe this is what self-respect looks like when you've never had it before. 3 days later, Mom shows up alone at my workplace. I'm coming off a 12-hour shift when I spot her in the hospital parking garage. She looks fragile under the fluorescent lights, clutching a tissue box like a lifeline. Sarah, please, just 5 minutes. Every instinct screams at me to keep walking, but she's my mother. The woman who stayed up all night when I had pneumonia at age 7, who drove me to nursing school orientation when my car broke down. 5 minutes, I agree. We sit on a concrete barrier between parked cars. The October air bites through my scrubs. I can't sleep, Mom begins. I can't eat. I keep thinking about what we did to you. Good, you should think about it. I know you hate us. I don't hate you, Mom. I'm protecting myself from you. She flinches. We made a terrible mistake, but we're family. We can get through this together. Together? I laugh hollowly. Like we were together when you stole my house. Like we were together when you called me a sucker in your goodbye note. I didn't write that note. Your father. You signed it. You packed your belongings. You left me in an empty house after I gave you everything. Tears streamed down her weathered cheeks. We were scared, desperate. People do stupid things when they're desperate, and people protect themselves when they've been betrayed. Please, baby, tell me what you need. What would it take for you to forgive us? For a moment I consider it. The fantasy of reconciliation, family dinners again, holiday traditions, the comfort of belonging somewhere. But then I remember the empty rooms, the cruel note, the Facebook posts questioning my mental health, the months of planning their theft while I worked myself to exhaustion. Nothing, Mom. There's nothing you can do. You proved that love is conditional for you. That family loyalty only flows one direction. I'm done being your safety net. She grabs my arm. We'll pay you back. Every penny. With what money? Dad's minimum wage job. Your non-existent income. Jessica's sold engagement ring. We'll figure it out. Families help each other. You're right. Families do help each other. Which is why I gave you my life savings. Which is why you should have protected me instead of robbing me. I stand to leave, but her voice stops me. If you don't help us, your father's going to kill himself. The words slice through the cold air like broken glass. He sits in Uncle Robert's basement with his old service pistol, cleaning it, talking about how he's failed everyone. Sarah, he's going to pull that trigger. My knees wobble. Get him professional help. We tried. He won't go. Says he's too ashamed. That's not my problem anymore. How can you say that about your own father? How could he try to steal from his own daughter? But as I walk away, her words follow me home. Dad with his pistol, the weight of family guilt settling on my shoulders like lead. Have you ever wondered if protecting yourself makes you the villain in someone else's story? That night, I can't sleep. Every creak in the house sounds like footsteps. Every car door in the neighborhood might be Dad arriving for a final confrontation. At 3 a.m., I call the suicide prevention hotline. I'm worried about my father, I tell the counselor, but I can't help him without destroying myself. Setting boundaries with family members who threaten self-harm is incredibly difficult, she says gently. But their mental health isn't your responsibility, especially when they've harmed you. Even if he actually does it. Even then, you can't sacrifice your well-being to manage someone else's choices. I give her Uncle Robert's address. She promises to send a wellness check team in the morning. As dawn breaks over my reclaimed home, I realize something fundamental has shifted. The guilt is still there. The worry remains real. But underneath it all, a core of steel has formed. I am not responsible for their choices. I am only responsible for mine, and I choose to protect the life I've rebuilt from the ashes of their betrayal. 1 year later, I'm planting roses in the front garden when Mrs. Henderson waves from her porch. Those are beautiful, dear. Your mother would be proud. I pause, trowel in hand. She doesn't know about the family drama that unfolded behind these walls. To her, I'm just the nice nurse who keeps her yard tidy. Thank you. I call back, not correcting her assumption. The roses are Dad's favorite variety, deep red blooms that smell like summer evenings and childhood memories. I plant them not for him, but for the father he was before gambling consumed his judgment. Inside, my house has transformed completely. Warm colors on the walls, comfortable furniture arranged for both solitude and hosting, family photos displayed carefully, memories from before the betrayal, when love felt unconditional and trust came easily. 3 months ago, Dad did enter therapy, not because of Mom's pleas or my boundaries, but because Uncle Robert threatened to kick them out unless Dad got professional help. The suicide threats stopped, the late-night calls ended, He found work at a local hardware store, embracing humility I never thought he possessed. Mom sends birthday cards now, careful notes that acknowledge wrongdoing without demanding forgiveness. Baby steps toward accountability. I keep them in a box upstairs, unopened but preserved. Jessica married her fiancé in a courthouse ceremony. The engagement ring she sold to fund their Miami disaster was replaced with a simple band. They're rebuilding slowly, learning to live within their means. Her last text simply said, "I understand now why you protected yourself." The house that nearly destroyed our family became the foundation of my independence. Revenge stories like ours rarely end with reconciliation. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is let people face the consequences of their choices. Sometimes family drama teaches us that blood doesn't guarantee loyalty, but boundaries guarantee peace. Every mortgage payment I make on this house is a payment to myself. Every improvement I choose reflects my values, not theirs. Every quiet evening in rooms they once emptied proves that home isn't about who raised you. It's about who you become when you stop letting others define your worth. The greatest family revenge isn't destruction, it's reconstruction, building the life they tried to steal, stronger and more beautiful than before. If this story resonated with you, please like this video and subscribe for more revenge stories about finding strength in betrayal. Share this with anyone who needs to hear that protecting yourself isn't selfish, it's survival. What would you have done in my situation? Let me know in the comments below.